Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning and welcome to Live Day Trading with Speculators of 23rd of April. And we've got continuing jobless claims again today. And today we're looking for new initial jobless claims to be 4,200,000 with a previous reading of 5,245,000. So that's what we got on the docket today. Looking at the overnight action on the chart. Over here. Yesterday ended up being an okay day. When you look at the downtrend, it actually is kind of like looks weak, but I thought that some of that action up was pretty good, and it was a very choppy trend. See lots of deep pullbacks, but then since then we just kind of flat. So we'll see where the jobless claims take us. Of course, we are positive on the day here, I believe. Yep, we're just barely positive on the day, but they've been like flipping back and forth. So, kind of difficult to pull anything out of that. The Treasury's still down after that, just getting creamed yesterday. Really, this, I guess in terms of magnitude, again, not super huge, but there was so much large activity on that trade. So, that's kind of where we're at. Oh yeah, also, oil. Where's oil? Should look at oil. Oil, breaking up above 16. So they're gonna make some of that disaster back. I wouldn't be surprised if they get back up to 20. I really wouldn't. I kind of think that this was just like all the retail people like piling in. I can't tell you how many people I saw. How can I trade oil? Okay. You have no clue what you're doing, but go ahead. How are you guys this morning? Come in here. Start the text to speech. We got everything set up. We got about 6 minutes. Sorry I was a little bit late this morning. I should apologize for that. I don't know. Took me longer to cook food than it normally does, I guess. It wasn't even that great of a meal either. Eggs and hash brown patties. I do see there's definitely some like price discovery happening in ES, but it's really disorganized right now. Probably seeing people trying to take positions ahead of the unemployment claims news, which has been the big watched highlight of the week every week now. People really care about that number. Overall, though, I'm just looking at my E-mini, it does look like it's been up overall. There we go. Let's reload that. Cool. Now I'm looking here. It looks like also there's quite a bit of activity in the treasuries too. I mean, they moved up 4 ticks and they came back, and they're trading through that area with not a whole lot of volume. So probably another situation where the bid-ask spread is kind of wide. I'm kind of wondering. Yesterday, the realized volatility did not reach our expected volatility. So it was even, we were expecting it to be constrained, and it was even more constrained than we expected. And all that despite a pretty good trend. So let's see where this goes. Got about 3 minutes. I guess let's load Twitter up here. In light of the attack from the invisible enemy, as well as the need to protect the great jobs of our great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration in the United States. Fully signed and ready to go, says Donald Trump 8 minutes ago. Now, be careful. He's out there to tweet, apparently. Forex Live tweeting it was SocGen. I think that means Society Generale on the other side of the dividend futures mess. Okay, we got about a minute to go here.
Bot says good morning.
Okay, how are you, man? Hope you had a good evening yesterday. I really find today's, well, I was going to say today's action interesting. I don't think interesting is the right word. But I think that for the way that I'm trying to trade right now, this is about as vague of a setup as you can get. Right? So overnight action, pretty close to the overnight open, and not really telling us a whole lot of anything about what direction they want to take things.
Bot says pre-market, world stocks pause before key EU meeting on coronavirus aid.
Oh, really? Okay, so that would maybe explain a little bit of things being so tight. Oh my gosh, did I just get a work alert? No, why am I getting notifications from the Galaxy store? What the heck? Stay home, Ava. That's funny. Okay. There's the news. There was a little bit of a spike up, and now sellers pushing it down. Treasuries unmoved. Okay, so we got here initial jobless claims 4,427,000 versus an estimate of 4,200,000, and that puts continuing jobless claims at 15,976,000 versus an estimated 16,476,000. So better than expected. Previous reading of 11,976,000, so still higher than last week. But overall, the number was good. So equities moved up a little clip. That's good. Okay, so we're running into some pivots that we had overnight. There's still even bigger stuff further back, so don't know where to take that one. Right here was where we opened this hour, 27.93.75. And then the day is down here. Well, they could maybe run up on that. I think I'm gonna sit back for that one. Mm-mm. This is actually the first sensical move off of the continuing jobless claims that I think we've seen, right? The numbers were good and the market moved up. Hey, every other time it's been like, oh, lots of people got laid off. The number was worse than expected. Let's buy it. Oh, the numbers weren't as bad as we expected. We're not going to get as much stimulus. Oh, we better sell things. So weird. Well, they liked it, but they're coming right back. They have moved up when the numbers were worse than expected. So, yeah, should be careful reading too much into it. They'll do weird stuff. Okay. They're like right there. They're right there on the edge and not really going for it. They are blue here. That last candle was actually an inside bar on the 1 minute chart. New York Fed, no bids submitted for overnight repo operation again. Okay. So maybe treasuries continue to sell. They have what they need. Okay. A little bit of a downturn here. Okay, so that was a pretty good downturn they just had there. Overall, the volume since the news has been down. And right back up there again, huh? Interesting. I mean, the funny thing is I was thinking like, well, I think I'm going on the long side, but maybe it's going to flip on me here. But sure enough, they went up again. I don't know if that area though it really makes sense for me to take it a trade. I think that what happened was I think there was some previous months must have gotten revised down because the initial claims was 44 versus 42.
Bot says nice double bottom at 2,784.00 in the 2 hours before the jobless claims report came out.
Oh yeah, I can see that. Well, you can see it on the 5-minute chart really clearly. At this moment, I am looking for a long, but I don't think that I don't think that I have the right risk reward on it. But then two, I'm just not seeing the signs that like there's actually more activities going to come in. You know what I mean? I mean, 93 to 97 is not bad, of course, but and also I'm just like order flow seems to be contradicting the price action significantly. Obama, still no coherent national coronavirus plan in the United States. Yes, because it's a state issue, you nimrods. Nah, I shouldn't be calling people names, least most of all Obama. He's a smart guy, but I find it funny that many people on the Democrat side seem to be bothered more than anything that this has been taken more at the state level than on a national level. You might even say it was a triple bottom on a 5-minute. I guess yeah. I guess you could say that because there was that kind of hammer well before it, huh? Ew, look at that. Oh, I have to ignore that one. It gave us a ding right away though. Where is that chart? Interesting. Oh, that's really, really interesting. Those are 5-minute candles? How is that? They're not matching up here. Oh, now I see. Okay. That one that's black and red, it was an up candle because if it was down, it would have just been red. I should change that. I just want them to always be black. But the outline should be different. Oh, you can't change it. Okay, whatever.
Bots says too many inside bars there in the 2,798 area on the 1 minute and now the 5.
Yeah, like I expected, we get the news and then we'd get some signals that price action was starting and that they were going somewhere. But when I look at the chart, there's a lot of inside trading. There has been some whippy moves, but that action looks to me more like action that's likely to catch you off guard and mess a lot of people up rather than one that we would catch. Okay, now they're moving. They did. It was long. 2,800. His news service had. Nah, I think the continuing jobless claims is the one that you gotta look. Is the one you gotta look at. Nah, you have to look at both. Okay, so they came up to 2,800 and they're pausing a little bit. I think I need to zoom out just a tad. There was actually, I thought that maybe that it just kind of decided to go up and, whatever, but there was actually some pretty solid volume there on that. Like there was a lot of people that were short up in here and they got stopped out higher. Oh, maybe they will actually go for the overnight high. We're so close to it. I definitely could have gotten long at 27.93. But and I guess if they break that, then that'll be really good. But I'm still kind of not feeling it. And just the risk reward just still doesn't make sense. I wonder what happens when. They kind of look like they're getting ahead of themselves, but I don't really know what they're going to do. It sure looks like they're close to the overnight high and that they would like to go for it. But the treasuries haven't really moved. There's a bit of volatility there, and they moved down off of the initial jobless claims, and then now they've balanced back up. South Korea and U.S. hold combined air exercises in apparent warning to North Korea. Scott Adams retweeting a tweet from somebody saying the people writing these articles and the people quoted in them would have a lot more credibility if they would talk honestly about the fact that outside of New York City and arguably NOLA Detroit, the U.S. has seen no serious problems from COVID-19. That's probably true. It seems to me that some states maybe actually implemented sorry, let me back up. If you're going off of the theory that a second wave is a serious problem, one may argue that some states actually closed too early. Because you want to have a little breakout here, build up a little bit of immunity, so that you won't be hit as hard in the fall. I guess that's a theory, but it's kind of weird to me that I'm not seeing anybody else considering that. This move up, is it already gonna? I think you should get an inside bar and a further move up, but it's kind of showing a few signs of petering out already. The Supreme Court will be releasing opinions starting at 10 Eastern Time today. 25 argued cases await decisions, including ripe cases on LGBT job discrimination, Puerto Rico Oversight Board, DACA, and New York City gun transportation rules. Okay. Always love to read the Supreme Court cases. Bum, 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 bum. They're trying to make it there, and they're just... It's slow going. It's slow going. I'm seeing a lot of little flickering over there in the 10-year, but They are kind of right where the sellers are going to want it, right? So I don't know. Okay, so there was a good little push there. Okay, so they did break the overnight high there. What was yesterday's high? 2808. Let's load these up for all these instruments here. Cool. 5 years below the previous low, but the 10-year is not. The 30-year is definitely not.
Gary Rich says trading the 10 years is dead and slow. It's like watching a snail try to make love to a cricket.
It's pretty bad this morning, isn't it? It's actually. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. It's definitely slow. Like it's not. It's just not ticking a lot. But we have seen much worse before, right? Georgia Democrat announces resignation days after endorsing Donald Trump. What? Interesting. Well, they're so close to it. I tell you what, if one of these inside bar things break down, um, and they don't hit the previous day's high, I think it would be really bearish. But I think they've got plenty of room.
Ask Our Money Machine says how you handle with losses.
Well, you go and you find a screwdriver and a screw, and you got your handle. I think using a screw is the best way to put a handle on your losses. I mean, here's the thing: is there's this famous anime. I know, just like he asks me a question about dealing with losses emotionally, and Seth starts talking about anime. There's an anime called Cowboy Bebop, and one of the most famous episodes is an episode because in the Cowboy Bebop universe, everybody lives all over the solar system, and they do that because there was an accident that exploded the moon, and there's rocks falling over all over the place on Earth, and so it's not safe to live on Earth. But there's an episode where they go to Earth and they meet a new character, and at the end of the episode, they have to re-enter the atmosphere, and some of the plating on the spaceship to prevent them from burning up going into the atmosphere has been damaged. So they may die. And the main character realizes that there's nothing he can do about it. And he says, whatever happens, happens. And I think that that's the way that you've got to go about it, is you take risks, and what happens, happens. and nothing you can do. There's a certain point at which, like, you're following your strategy, it's outside of your hands, or it already happened, it's outside of your hands. You've just got to be like, it happened. And of course, if it really is affecting you, then, and you can feel that you are tilted, then don't trade. Just stop for the day. And maybe even take the next day off. How great is this? The ICE and CME will soon allow for listing option contracts with negative strike prices. Tweets Art Berman. That's hilarious. Here at the high, continues to be a little weak. They still would have a pretty big step they'd have to make to really turn down, but we'll see. The thing I see in all of this is that there is a chance they turn down, but then I really don't think I could take that one. Everything that I see still tells me that I should be long. So trying to short it on the theory that it comes back to 27.93, hey, it could happen, but I don't think that that's a trade I should make. I don't think that that would be in the plan. Okay, so there was a little bit of a turn. Sometimes when we hear that ding sound, though, they're going to bounce off of it, right? A little bit of tiredness is coming on to me now. I haven't taken a trade. My brain is like, take a trade, Seth. We need the dopamine.
Bots says nice shot through overnight high at 2,805.75, but can they continue?
Yeah. Well, the thing, John, is that overnight high was at 28.05, but the previous day's high was at 28.08. And so I think that they're kind of eyeing that. And what we're getting right now, in fact, some signs of price discovery now. I think they broke the bottom of an inside bar. We're actually getting an outside bar here now. So it's a 2-1-3. That's a reversal pattern, isn't it? But like I said, we're still positive on the hour and we're positive on the day. So fading it here, for me, doesn't really make sense. Even though I see there's looks like that we could come down quite a bit. And again, if we don't hit the overnight high, we don't break it, that could be bearish. But if that is, Bot says agree to getting a 2 goes 3 on the 5-minute as well. Yes. Oh yeah, it was on the 5-minute where I saw it. 2 goes 3 or a 2-1-3. The thing is that if it turns back down and we get back to where the hour opened, I don't think that it would be too hard. It's only 7 points down there, and we have plenty of range to do that. So we can take trades the other way later if we want. The New York Fed tweets a conversation on how COVID-19 is disproportionately affecting underserved communities. This is such a problem. You know what? since the market is in this thing, if I could go on a little rant, one of the things that really bothers me right now when I look at a lot of the comments that I see in public, for instance, I saw a thing the other day where they were criticizing people that want businesses to open up again. And I am of the opinion, just to be clear, that you should open businesses again when the data says that it's safe to do so. The administration says that it's safe to do so when you've had declining cases for 2 weeks. I have yet to see anybody make the case from a data standpoint, using data, that says that they shouldn't do it, that 2 weeks of declining cases is not enough. But I believe, based on, the things that they set and everything, if you're getting 2 weeks of declining cases, then it's okay to ease restrictions. You don't completely open everything up, but you ease restrictions, because otherwise you're starting to waste some of the capacity that you could be using to get things over faster, or maybe prevent a second wave in the fall. Okay. Anyways, that people were criticizing these people, saying it was a minor inconvenience. They were saying it's just a minor inconvenience to stay home. And I'm like, whoa, not working for 2-3 months is a minor inconvenience? No, that's like a life altering event, man. That is that could completely destroy your life. It's not a minor inconvenience for some people. But why would they say that? Well, it must be because they're either still working at home, or they're doing just fine with the unemployment check they're getting. Because some people are getting unemployment. They make more than actually a lot of people. As I have come to find, a lot of people are making more money now not working than they did when they were unemployed. So, irregardless of whether or not we should open or not, it seems to me that the middle class has mostly service jobs and things that they can do remotely from home. And the poorer people, the working class, they are just completely out of luck. And they get some of those get the unemployment. They fall behind a little bit. But then the kind of the more of the working class business owner person, they might get unemployment, but it doesn't make up for what they're losing in destruction to their business. So there's certain people that are either extremely disadvantaged or own a business that are being hurt by this much more than everybody else. And I think that because people aren't experiencing it themselves, they don't really understand. I think that if the government hadn't come in and increased the unemployment insurance and all of that sort of stuff, maybe there would be a lot more people that were concerned about it. Danske Bank's research. We won't know for sure until the April jobs report, but based on initial jobs claims, the unemployment has dropped to the lowest level since the late 90s. It took 10 years to increase employment by 22 million in only 5 weeks to destroy it. Wow. That's an interesting take on it. Okay, well, they are continuing lower. I really do think I could take this, but it's against my daily trend filters. So, at this rate, less than half of the working age population of America will be earning a wage by May. I really don't think that people understand how bad this can get if we have to continue for much longer. I think that the case for May, I don't know if, well, they were saying decreasing cases for 2 weeks, and most places hit that in May, but I do kind of wonder if that was more of a like a bit from a business and financial standpoint. That's just like the breaking point. Like lots of states are going to start defaulting on obligations and stuff if it goes beyond that. Did you see this thing yesterday that they were asking about giving aid to individual states? And Mitch McConnell said, no, if you have an underfunded pension fund and you aren't able to meet your obligations as a state, then instead of the government bailing you out, you should just declare bankruptcy, which makes sense in my head. It makes sense in my head because, it would be beneficial for some of those states to be able to shed their obligations and restructure in a way that is more sustainable. Some states really do need to do that, but I don't think it's constitutional. In fact, there's laws specifically there to prevent states from defaulting on their obligations. It's BS and a crap show. Wait, what show was I talking about? I don't think I was talking about a show. Some people are losing their livelihood, man. I don't think that's a minor inconvenience. The handling of this virus is a crap show. Nah, listen. Here's the problem with that approach. Name a place where that's not. Name a place where their response has been so brilliant. Right? Like, the funny thing is that everybody praises Cuomo in New York for his handling of the virus. Okay, well, a lot of what Cuomo did was overreact, right? Like, they wanted so many, you all have too much faith in your government? No, I don't have too much faith in my government. No, I expect it. Sorry, I'm not reading all of the comments out. I have it off of auto read for reasons today, but no, I expect that a disaster response is going to have a lot of things to criticize about it. It's the nature of a disaster response. So, like, people talk about New York and they like what Cuomo does. Like, what did Cuomo do? Well, he has really cold informational press conferences. Well, like most of the stuff that he did, like he was really demanding a lot of ventilators, and then they ended up not needing any of it. And then, of course, the response in New York was really poor to begin with because that the mayor was encouraging people to go out when we were starting to lock things down, and they spread things like it could have been. Oh man, New York really stepped in it there. I don't see anywhere, but let's look at other countries. France, total disaster. The UK's response has been pretty poor. Like, has been criticized, at least, let's say. Of course, they're going to be criticized because Europe tends to be liberal and the government in the UK is conservative right now. And the UK always tends to be conservative, but everybody that I read on Reddit is going to criticize what happens in the UK because they're conservative. So they're like really harping on the UK. Germany did a good job. Germany has like way more cases. Oh, actually, take that back. Let's look. If we are looking into Europe, I do know that pretty much everywhere in Europe got hit harder than the US. Let's see here. There's this really great. Oh, yes, here it is right here. Worldometers. What Kuma did was speak reasonably to the people of the state. Who cares? You know what? I understand what you're saying, but you're making a good point. You're making a point about something that I personally don't care about. Like this is the thing that bothers me about every little thing that comes along with Donald Trump is it turns into, well, Donald Trump said X thing and we don't like it. And it's like, who fucking cares what he said? Why does everybody want to look to the government to be the one that makes them feel safe? Oh, you need daddy government to come and tell you nice words so that you don't freak out. Come on. We all know what's going on. Who gives a fuck what he says in that press conference? The only reason those press conferences happen, guys, is because it helps Donald Trump's press relations for his re-election campaign. It's not to help you. Come on. Unlike your hero in Washington's approach of deny, blame, and deflect. Well, I don't know. It's just like this thing is like, it's the response is going to suck everywhere. I mean, this is not the one that I wanted. We were trying to look for Germany, right? Maybe it was this one. Nah, maybe. Yes. Okay. Total confirmed deaths. Daily confirmed deaths. And look at the United States is really bending the curve. But that's not the one that we want either. We want. Oh yeah, here we go. Confirmed deaths relative to the size of the population is what we want. But it's not giving me the chart. Oh wait. Per million people. What's the difference between these two charts? Let me give me a chart. Oh, come on. I know there's one somewhere here. That's not it either. Because you want the per capita one to really compare. To really compare. Hold on a second. I know you guys are making a bunch of comments here. I want to find this chart. I'm back to 128. Maybe they got rid of it. Tests is big. Blah, 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 blah. I was looking for like the per capita one, but they didn't have it separated out. That's versus cases. This is okay. So this one is a great one to look at because if you have more, so this is total confirmed deaths, and this is total confirmed cases. So the higher up on this you are, the worse you did, and the lower down here you are, the better you did, essentially, right? So let's find Germany. Germany did okay. France had problems. France, Italy. This is one. Belgium and France actually had very poor responses. Well, from the metrics at least. I'm not going to be criticizing specific things about them, but from the metrics at least. Look, if we just do the European countries, okay. Germany did do better than their peers. It appears. Russia so far has been doing is the best on that particular metric. Then we go to the United States. Okay, so it does appear that Germany did a little bit better than the United States on that one. The other side was better. There you had that per capita. I just didn't see it. I was looking for a specific chart and I didn't see the one that I wanted. This worldometers. But this one didn't have the graph at all. They did have total cases per million population. So that's one that you could look at. Wow, Switzerland is actually a lot higher than... So Italy should be up at the top. Oh, USA and France on that one are... Okay, but I guess total cases isn't really the thing that we care about, is it? It's going to be deaths. Right. Okay. France not so good. UK not so good. Netherlands, Sweden. So Sweden, that it's interesting to me that Sweden, um, they didn't put anything down, and they're getting 200. But probably Sweden hasn't hit the worst of it, and their medical system hasn't been overwhelmed yet. If their medical system does get overwhelmed, then I believe that it's possible that they could be in for a doozy. So we keep an eye on that one. Okay, and then we get the USA, 144, and then we get Germany down here at 64. I think one of the things you got to keep in mind is that the quality of their healthcare system is going to matter, right? I because most of the breakout happened in New York, and I don't know. There's some problems with the U.S. healthcare system. Anyway, so what Kuma did was speak reasonably to the people of the state with. Oh no, wait, we already read that one. The other site was better. There you had the per capita. We also did tons of tests compared to your population. Oh yeah. So do they have that one tests per 1 million population? Who did the most? I think the U.S. Oh, that one's not. Okay, here we go. Well, we don't even get. Okay. Norway is Portugal. Germany. Okay, so Germany did do better than the other European countries. What did they do compared to how far down does the US come? Oh, they're not bad. 13,000 versus where did they go? 24. So, good, yeah, probably a good 50% better. The United's, I really think when you look at their response, and this is something that, again, I don't know, I got to tell you, there's a lot of things about the coronavirus thing that, just based on the information that I have, seem like they should be a big deal and aren't talked about very often. Like the testing disaster in the United States is like was the biggest problem. If we could have done as much testing as we wanted at the beginning, might not have had this breakout. They might have, you know, but they couldn't even test for like the first 2 weeks. Ridiculous, absolutely unacceptable. Not the administration's fault, but absolutely unacceptable. Mm-mm. Oh yeah, now you should be able to get the info. Let's see if it does it. Does it do it? Post it. Should post it. Come on. Come on. Oh wait, hold on a second. What is wrong here? Text is not valid. Oh, you broke it, Dan. That's weird. What is it telling me? That's really weird. Try it again. No, try it again. That's so weird. Well, that upsets me. It worked before. What if I do it? Dun, 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 dun. Why? Something must have changed in YouTube. Well, let me go and no, that's not it. Let me find you the text for it and paste it in there for you, okay? And we can try the other parts of it. Oh. Save. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. There we go. Ha ha ha. So what happened was I changed the message, and it was one character too long, and so it was rejecting it because it was too long. Now we fix it. Okay, well, we're coming up 7 minutes into the open, and I'm still like not incredibly enamored with where it's at. In fact, they basically just kind of came back to range area and didn't do anything. Wonder. Well, we are still lower than we were like end of last week. We are very much in a like a kind of close to a resistance area. Hmm. I was just thinking about, like things that you don't hear a whole lot about, even though you should. Germany did appear to do better on a lot of metrics. Nobody talking about that. In the United States, nobody's talking about that. Why aren't people saying, well, Germany did X, Y, and Z, why didn't we do that? It's really interesting to see the treasuries be so slow today. Really, we haven't seen it be this slow in the treasuries in such a long time. I am seeing a little bit of jockeying for position ahead of the open. I think that what's going to happen is that on the open, there's going to be some really strong buying, and that they're going to try and just slam that 2808 right off the bat. Seen a little bit of movement in oil too. You notice though in oil that it's pretty much been like just slow, steady trend up over there. It's not a very fast trajectory, but it is a pretty solid trend. Japan says economy is in an extremely severe situation. I thought that Japan did an okay job with it. Everybody's screwed, man. Okay, got about a minute and a half. 1,000. That's pretty strong right there. It's still really strong selling right there. Okay. There's the open. Okay. So here's the buy. Overall, we saw a pretty strong buy. I think I do want that. Yeah, I think I took that in the wrong time. Okay. Hmm. Some of this movement on the open seems really random, but so there's the overnight high again. There's a previous high, and they breached it. Good deal. I'm being overly cautious today. I think I should be holding that one, but I knew what it was going to do and I took it. Hey, it's okay.
Gary Rich says watch those 2-day, 3-day, 5-day highs and lows.
Well, if we want to go into another high, you got to see 28.33. So that's quite a ways out there. Oh yeah. What did I get out? I think I really. Oh wait. Okay, it wasn't terrible, but I was a little more cautious than I would normally be on that one because it was within the first 5 minutes of the open, and I don't. I after I got into it, I was kind of like, am I breaking my rules doing this? I don't feel comfortable. So I don't know. I think he can hold it though. Like I could certainly at the very least try and hold it to like 28.10 or something. You know. Look at that. That's some volume. Now something's up. Whoa, the Bank of Japan to remove bond buying limit. The Bank of Japan is considering unlimited bond buying. The central bank is considering doubling the purchase of corporate bonds and commercial. Wow. That's a big deal right there. That, I don't think that the equities know or care, but that is why the treasuries are up. And Gary's tweeting it, sending it to us now too.
Gary Rich says Japan to buy unlimited bonds at next meeting.
I was looking at it, I was like, well, why are the treasuries moving up too? That's not okay. Piece of news. The world is okay. The equities don't have to completely collapse here, but let's see what they do. Okay. Equities continue. Oh man, are they going to make it all the way out there? Oh, I should probably go and do some of my number crunching now, huh? 1 minute chart. Come on. Well, it's not giving it to me. 28.20. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my, that was some volume right there, guys. Look at that. I mean, that's like reloading. Maybe you buy that, but there you go. be off plan for me, so that's why I'm not touching it. They still haven't completely moved away from it, but it does appear like they want to continue to move a little bit higher. 2820 is a spot of significance. We have to wait a little bit, apparently, to that's TradingView is not giving me the data. It's not doing what it's supposed to. So I can't see what the VIX ended up opening at today. Well, I'm seeing lots of trades over in oil, too. Oil up to $17 now. Okay. Right there seems okay. How much is trading there? Yeah. There's the bottom of this. 28, 1625. Treasuries are pretty crazy at the moment. Well, I don't know. Movement wise, they seem crazy, but like when I look at the book over here, it's kind of static. Okay, well, I'm not too happy with that, so I'm just gonna chill for a bit. There's too much. You're starting a new round here already. Still a lot of volume here. Look at that right there at 16. Hmm. Yeah, this is a pretty big volume cluster here. That's interesting. They seem to be struggling now. Yeah, let's put this out. Sweden could reach herd immunity in weeks, top doctor says. Really? That quickly?
Ace Trades says howdy.
Good
Daniel
morning,
K
guys.
says good morning. What did I miss?
I didn't see you there. I hope that I don't know how early ago you said that, but I did a little buy and I've been like super overly cautious about it, so I don't know. Yeah, it's the way it is sometimes. Looks like they kind of coming back down here. Um, and then Japan is saying they're going to buy all the bonds, so the bonds are up. You're getting some weird divergences in behavior here. They did. Well, we have to have close. It's going to be close here. Might have already had a pivot high. We can't short today, Daniel. At least not yet. Yeah, I don't. Not yet. I can't short. I mean, you can if your edge says that you can. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. He says it's sad. Well, I don't know. After sweeps like that, anything can happen, guys. That was pretty wild. That was a pretty wild move there. Still, the 16 to 6, well, and I guess there was even more volume at 17. There's like a really big volume cluster around here, right? And now they're pushing the kind of the bottom side of it. So, okay, that's confirmed pivot high. Close below previous bar's low. That's a confirmed pivot high. Hmm.
Gary Rich says it bots wow Canadian oil is getting cheaper than a Starbucks coffee and a bag of milk.
In a bag.
Bots says way cheaper, and it tastes better than a Starbucks.
Oh. You know this from experience, John? Just the thought of
Gary Rich says
crude
earnings are
light,
gonna
sweet
hit
light
hard.
crude oil
Expect downside.
coating your throat.
Bots
Ugh.
says I do.
I definitely see somebody big going short there, didn't they? That was the biggest volume cluster I think we have seen since the bottom. Really. They are putting up a bit of a battle here. And the sellers won that one. Doesn't mean that we can't go up and make a new high, but they did create a pivot high on the 5-minute chart. I think there's a pretty good chance, although it's not something that I would play. First, we'd need to get below 2809, but I think that there's a good chance that they retrace the move from this hour. If they do, then we could have a bad sell day.
Bots says thought for the day. Bots says all of the ideas that I have tried over the years to eke out a living for my family have been defined or discovered when I was using my ears, not my mouth.
John, I know. Listen, he knows me so well, right? I talk too much. I really do. I'm not a good listener. I just am not.
Daniel Kohler says morning people.
Hey, Daniel, that's a Daniel Color. That sounds like a new name I'm not familiar with. So welcome. So they're turning up a little bit. The idea of equities turning back down and turning negative is appealing to me for some reason. But all of the stuff that I have on here says like I
Daniel Kohler
definitely
says,
see
anyone
it.
catch the big move up on SMES this morning?
I did. I did catch a little bit of that. I was really super cautious about it though, so I only ended up taking like 6 points of it, or not 6 points of it, not even that. It was like 3 points of it. I really should have held it, but I only took that like initial breakout up to like 2808, and then I got out there. Didn't hold it. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing in treasuries here though. There's an iceberg at 0.2 but I think they're just gonna bust him. Yeah. So now there's 2808 was the previous high. That was resistance. Let's see if it acts as support. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can kind of see. Not a whole lot heading into it there at the moment. There is a little bit of liquidity there on the 5-year. They're not pressuring it yet in the 5-year, even though they are in the 10, and the 30 has already moved up to its high of the day. But for now, there is some support there at the 2808 in the ES. Okay, look, they took it.
Gary Rich says, I trade with my brain, not my heart.
Well, there you go. I mean, I think you know what I'm going to say, right? People have a really hard time knowing when they're really thinking with their brain or with their heart. Most people would tend to say, especially most traders and most smart people. Maybe smart is not the word. Upper class people, okay? Most
Trade
people
says at
mid
Gary
upper
Rich
class.
that isn't what you use for the rest of your decisions. Lol.
I
RJ Wheels says, I wish I did that with women.
I would say most middle upper class people think that they make decisions based on data and off of facts and stuff, but the simple data studies everything that we
Uzi
look at,
Knesset
says that we
says
don't.
everyone got wrenches, lol.
Says that we don't do that. We think that we're making a logical decision, but the reality is that we're doing what we feel like, and then we justify it with logic after the fact. I really think like that initial trade that I took, I really should have held it. I really should have followed the stop strategy, but because it was so close to the open, it made me too nervous. Probably, if it made me so nervous, I just shouldn't have been in it to begin with.
Michael XC says, what's the lowdown on ZN? Still going up?
Well, we're hitting into the offer a little bit, so there is some offering going on up here at 0.2 or so. They did like bust their balls there a bit, but then it went offer again. So
Michael XC says, I just entered the chat.
I don't know. I'm keeping it tight here.
Michael XC says, wow, lots of buy orders.
Yeah. Well, because Japan says that they're going to buy all the things.
Michael XC says, lol. Michael XC says, oh, now sells.
Nah.
Gary Rich says, at ACE with women I roll the Dungeons and Dragon 25-sided dice.
Okay. They're going to test that support again. They're breaking through it now in ES. The treasuries are trying to push into bids here. I didn't see nearly as much absorption
Michael
as I would
XC
like.
says
That's a
gotta
little
fix
better.
that chat reading order, make it synchronous.
Yeah, not quite sure how to fix it. I was looking at that the other day and I didn't understand why it was doing it. That seems to me that the timestamp on them actually the timestamp that Google sends you ends up being out of order. It was weird. I think it would take a little bit of a more significant change in the code to fix it. Yeah, I think I would have to reorganize a significant portion of the code.
Gary Rich says Seth just put 10 MES contracts on get 2 points and done for the session. If one can't get 10 or 5% of a measured move, something is wrong.
Well, let's see. He can't get 10 points. Well, I really would have gotten 10 points. So, I was a good trade. I didn't really follow my exit strategy. Yeah. Well, they bounced off of that 08 once again.
Gary Rich says in this current environment thinking logically is not the way to think. Adapt to present conditions.
Yeah. I'm just a little bit in yeah, see like that right there. There's kind of this action here going on that I don't want to deal with. It makes me want to click, but I know in my head that it's not the best spot for me to try and hold tight risk. Okay. I'm also still a little hesitant because we had that initial pivot high. I don't think that doesn't mean that we can't go higher, but and I'm also, well, we should check over here again. VIX is even lower than it was yesterday. $28.37. Okay. Well, I'm already unhappy with this spot. Okay. So is this an outside bar doji? Ooh.
RZH says I need one Uzi.
By the way, hi, wrong. I haven't seen you in a few days, so thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Okay. Yeah, that bar, it wasn't like a pure doji, but it was pretty close. Outside bar. But if we can break out the top side of that, that would be really positive.
Gary Rich says here it comes 720 downgrades on earnings for Q1 and Q2 2020.
You think so? You don't think that anybody's expecting that, though? I don't know. I mean, there's been a lot of earnings coming out here the past 2 weeks, anyways. I sure have been of the opinion, though, that like the market acting like they're just gonna go right back up to 3,000 just like that seems a little too rosy given the situation. So I feel you, but I'm just doing what the tape says for the moment.
Michael XC says ECB's Pres. Lagarde, GDP may fall by 15% because of the virus, to EU leaders. Less than fake news, how can it only be 15% with almost everyone sitting inside?
Good question, Michael. I think that the reason they're saying that, Michael, is because they expect to see significant growth in the third and fourth quarters. But there's this big thing. So here's another thing that I'm kind of like, I'm starting to see people talk about it, but another thing that I'm like, why aren't more people talking about this? Fall wave. If they have to shut everything back down again in like October or November, then yeah, it's going to be a lot more than 15%, isn't it?
Michael XC says those assumptions probably don't assume bankruptcies, lol.
I don't know. As of yet, to my knowledge, we're not seeing a huge change in bankruptcies, but it certainly
Michael
is coming.
XC says some companies can't even deal with 20% less customers.
Oh yeah. Well, the margin. I mean, we're in such a competitive society. You know, the margins that a lot of businesses are making money on are super small.
Michael XC says which is basically guaranteed after reopening for many companies.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. You're saying that even after things open, it's not going to be like gangbusters.
Bot says 720 on the S&P 500. Yikes, just like crude prices. First time ever gone negative. Open mouth face.
Who's saying 720? Man, if they went down to 720 on the S&P 500, that would be insanity. Holy crap. That's like 2008 levels, right? Okay. We beat that last little kind of 1 minute pivot high. Yeah. Oh, no.
Michael XC says okay, come on, ZN.
Mad about that trade in the 10-year. It was an okay trade, but I was holding super tight risk, and it's okay. But I do think I could have handled it better. Oh, actually, it's pretty close to where I was, huh?
Bot says I was referencing Gary's 720 downgrades number.
Oh, okay. Well, the crude prices, that one's... I really think that what happened in the crude prices, somebody obviously made a foolish mistake, and then retail just kind of climbed back in afterwards. You look at the way that oil's been trading this morning, and really even yesterday. I think there's a really good chance that they just retrace it and go back to 20. Oil's not my thing. I don't know what its
Bot
tendencies
says
are,
not as
but
funny when you read it as it was in my head when I typed it.
Yeah, I don't know. There really is, I think, an assumption from the central banks that the third and fourth quarters of the year are going to be extremely positive. That there's going to be a ton of pent up demand that's just going to spew out and flood, and everybody's gonna grow really strong during that time. I'm a little skeptical about that. I think that the future could be okay, but there's going to be really long lasting damaging effects from this that are going to take years to recover from. And I think that even in a best case scenario, that like new highs on the S&P 500 are going to be several years away.
Michael XC says like nobody will hold back on spending when jobs are uncertain.
Yeah, totally. And it's just like, I mean, I don't know if we're going to go down to the lows again, but I just don't expect that we should be able to just like careen up, you know? And sometimes the market really seems to be suggesting that we're just going to careen up. Okay, so oil just saw like a really strong move up, and they're running into some absorption, and that kind of triggered the E-mini to move as well. That's interesting. You know, when I watched oil before, I didn't really see it as strong enough correlation between treasuries and the E-mini for it to matter. But because it's the highlight now, they are very much leading the action in some cases. So that's kind of cool. They really formed a strong volume cluster up there, though. Mm, I should put this here. Okay. That was an interesting move in oil, and like they completely retraced it, but all of the markets reacted to it.
Michael XC says here we go. ZN.
Yeah, the ZN looks like they might be ready to do it. There's the keep an eye at 12 and a quarter on the 5 year though. There's like 900 contracts on there, and that seems to be part of what is holding them back. And they're absorbing at 12. So the market makers still aren't sure if they have enough orders to push through there up through the top. There's kind of a little bit of math you can do in your head based on like, okay, there's an iceberg here, and I think there will be an iceberg here, and based on how many people I see on the bid, would there really be enough volume to push through that particular price right now? And I think in the 5 year, you have to say that it will be hard. The 30 and the 10 seem to have been ready to go for a while though. They're coming back a little bit, maybe because they think the E-mini is going to make another push. There's kind of this 28.17. There's a little roadblock. I think they'll push through that pretty easily, though, if they go for it. Yeah, okay. Hmm. There's still quite a volume cluster at 16. Maybe we should be looking at. Okay. Well, hold on. Okay. That's not the one that I want. Well, I followed what I wanted to do that time. So cool. I think that we're going to end the day higher than 2817, but we may have to really pull back and build some volume up and work for them to do it, because there's very clearly somebody went short up there and is defending the position. Do I see it if I come over here and look at my... Okay. Actually, don't really see it. That's interesting. You know what? This chart right here, I need to remove some stuff from it. All these things, I just want my... well, I'll just leave that one on there for now, even though I have a better version of it now. That make it a little bit better? Mm-hmm. I guess I technically don't need the delta either. There we go. But I didn't see... Okay. Well, whatever. Zen's still down there. So are they going to come and meet them back at 139? Okay with a 1. There's the oil back up. Okay. Now we're kind of getting the move that I wanted originally. Ooh, you see him there at 2820? Come on. So close. Oh, oh. Interesting that they made it in ES and then not micros. Hmm. I think if they break that high, it's just going to be gangbusters. Plenty of profit taking up here, though. Very strong bid pressure, even too. Oh, that's actually flipping around a lot. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Nope. There you go. Well, that's the move I was looking for. You know what, man? Being long when one of those, that's nothing better in trading, dude. To me, there's nothing better in trading. That is my favorite thing to see. So you know there was the stop run. You knew it was going to be there, and you were in it, and you made money on it, and it's just this huge flurry. It's just so satisfying. It's that gets the dopamine going, man. When you just see that, zoop. Okay. Wow, I don't quite know where to move this, but I think that's what I want to name today's video. Catching stop runs is the best. Are the best. Is it are the best? Catching stop runs is a singular thing. But if you're referring to stop runs themselves, that's a plural thing. So it depends on how you're phrasing it. So we could say stop runs are the funnest or are the best. I don't think I want to say stop runs are the best. call them breakouts. Breakouts is a more positive way of saying it. Okay. They are kind of threatening that, you got the stop run and that's it. Although I see plenty of more upside potential. Again, my target is up at like 38. 38. Hmm. Gonna get another cluster here at 21. Shoot. Wow. We see some news. That was really crazy aggressive. Well, I'm disappointed, but that's what it's there for, I guess. How you guys doing? That was something else. That makes this an outside bar. So, John, if you're still there, what did you think about that one? It's pretty good example. I mean, we still made money on it, so it's okay. If we had been a little bit more generous with our stop, we could still be in and maybe we get higher.
Bot says yep, 2 in a row on the 1 minute.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. On the 1 minute, 2 outside bars on it. So I'm kind of just sitting there thinking like, am I okay that I got took profit there? I guess I followed the plan. I guess I followed the plan, but I don't know. I guess if there was anything that we can pick out from today, it's even if I'm taking a trade off of the open, which I really shouldn't do, but I did it, and we're starting to take the profit that we need to follow the stop strategy still. Because that would have taken us to 28.15. So that would have given us a good double what we had gotten on that one. Here at 8:30. They could go short. They could. They really could go short. Let's see what they do. There's definitely somebody setting something up. Somebody definitely doesn't like Uh, they want to sell it here still. I think he sold it at around 2018. Kind of got screwed on that move higher. Maybe some big guys still in. That's so sweet though. What a ugh. It's okay though. We still made money. Just maybe not quite as much as we could have. Okay. Hey, there you go. New high. That's what I wanted. Oh well.
Bots says just follow those outside bars on the 1 minute.
Oh, you mean like when it broke out of the outside bar? Should have taken it. Ooh, they didn't break out the bottom side of it. That's interesting to me. So it would have been at 23.25 there. No, but now it's 22, so we'll just put it down there. Look at the bid pressure there was 2,000 at one point.
Bots says first one resolved higher, second resolved lower, third resolved higher, and it broke out barely.
Yeah. Well, it sure is staying up there, isn't it?
Bots says all above the initial pivot high at 2,819.75 on the 1 minute.
Oh, darn. Good. Not good. No, fine. We're okay. I don't know why I got out of that, but I kind of felt like that trade was a little bit off plan. Plus, I wanted to make back a little bit from commissions you lost, you know. They're still trading heavy numbers up here. Are we just going to get a trend day? Like, it really feels like it. NQ went all the way that far back? What the heck? Oh, there's definitely like that, yeah. There was the initial pivot high, and then there was a stop run that we caught that was breaking that initial pivot high was really something else, right? Oh, that would have taken me out there anyways. 27.
Bot says note the 15-minute compound inside bars on my 1-minute chart in Discord chat.
15-minute inside? Or are you talking about before the breakout? Oh, yeah. So you're talking about like when they broke out at 28.17. Did you see that was I was sitting there and I was seeing that level was like holding them back, and I wasn't really
Daniel K
getting a
says
good.
haven't traded all day. Had to reinstall Parallels VM.
Oh, really?
Finally installed NinjaTrader again. Sigh.
Bot says yes.
Yeah. So I wasn't really getting the entry that I wanted, so I played the breakout play, and it paid off that time. And I think that I'm a little bit better than I was a couple of weeks ago at understanding the way the ES tends to move and when taking a breakout trade like that is appropriate and when it's not. Like it's tempting to take it here at like 29, but they're actually consolidating.
Gary Rich says I'm gonna give y'all another hint. Watch the risk parity index RPAR when it turns the S turns.
Okay.
This matters.
You know what, Gary? I appreciate it. You've given us some good edges, so we will definitely look at that. Is that something I can look up here? Would be an index, right? Well, we just do all. There is a risk parity ETF. RPAR. Oh, that is them. So you can just do the ETF. So let's look at it. It's not. Okay. Looks like for some reason they don't give very many candles. No. 25, 11, 15. Huh. I guess it must just not trade a whole lot. But you're saying, well, maybe you're saying on a daily basis. I don't know. Oil is turning down a little bit. That's the first significant turn down in oil that I think I've noticed today. I bet you it's probably not the first one today, but that's the only one I've seen. It's just been all green this morning. Yumi doesn't seem to care. Treasuries ended up going lower back to the bid. Equities still they might creep up here a little bit. I don't know if that's a good one to take. Hey, there you go. Look at that big order at 31. Hit him. Hit him, yeah. Okay. Okay. Whale's still kind of acting odd. I think I want to pull up a chart here for it. Huh. Well, when I look at the chart, there being at 97 really shouldn't be. Really, if 17, 18, that would be where there would be a little bit more concern. So I think that I'm probably just seeing things and it doesn't matter. I'm seeing little scouts, but I'm having a hard time holding it for whatever reason. I guess because I don't feel like I'm getting the appropriate risk reward spot down on the site. So it's like I get the thing that wants to happen and then I'm getting out. It's okay. I think in the end, I don't know. It's still a little bit more. I would still like to pull a little bit more out of the market if I could. But like when it's sitting there like that, jeez. Day squeezing. Look at that guy.
Jonathan Vega says hi guys.
Hello. They're running for it. They certainly seem to know where they want to go, don't they? Man, look at the buy pressure is so insane. Some of the buys here are really crazy.
RJ Wheel says I got this long but out way too earlier. My percentage of the grab gets lower and lower.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is that this was definitely something where if I had held my original buy back at 2,800, then we could have taken 36, so that could have been $150 trade, but not with the stop strategy that I'm using. You're still kind of getting little tiny bits. And I've been trying to read the flow and get out at key points, and it's been okay, but overall, I don't think it's helped me a whole lot because I've ended up taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades today. So I don't know. Could be better. They're definitely pivoting there, though. I'm super tempted to just sell it at 32, but that would not make much sense. It moves and I feel left out, Hmm. Well, this RPAR, I'm not really seeing it here. I wonder if I go into... Do we need to come into here? I'm going to move it off screen here for a bit while I'm looking at it. Okay. So, wow, 4,000? When I look over here, I don't see it. No, I don't want it over here. Come over here. I want to still see my Dom here. All right. Okay. So, what I'm getting from the RPAR is that there's not a ton of volume in it. And, huh. Well, I'm not quite sure how to use that quite yet, but maybe we should look into how it's calculated. Hmm. Hold the boat. Hold the boat. Oh, very interesting. I understand why that matters. So, let me read it. The Advanced Research Risk Parity Index is an index which seeks to track the performance of a multi-asset strategy that balances risk equivalently among four broad categories: U.S. global equities, commodities, Treasury inflation protected securities tips, and U.S. Treasuries. Hmm. They are pushing it there, yeah. Hmm. Nope. I guess not. I really was should have just gone. Close this now. I don't need any more. So Gary, that seems like I understand why that would be important, but I don't see where you get the data for it to be useful on our time frame. Like it seems like there's not really a ton of volume in it. Oh, you guys probably are saying stuff and I can't see it anymore. It's not reading it out anymore. How do you use a DOM when I open NT8 Super DOM? It moves too fast for me. Only like prices where there are orders waiting. Yeah, so the problem with the Ninja, one of the problems with the NinjaTrader 8 dynamic DOM is that it moves on you. So if you put your mouse over it, let's just show you. I don't know if I really should be taking a trade here. Well, I really want to though. Look at that. Okay. New Super DOM dynamic. Right. So do you see how it kind of moves around? Like everything moves. But if I put my mouse over it, then it stops. Whereas this one, if it moves down, it just moves up and down. It doesn't keep it centered. So this is one of the reasons why NinjaTrader 8's DOM is just basically unusable. Okay. Well, kind of slowing down here a little bit. They break up above 32 area, though, we could start to get some acceleration. Come on, go for it. Guess not. It's inside that art part. Its portfolio when things seemed good in a risk on calculation inside its construction of the ETF. Look at the weighted asset classes. Okay. And they're really keeping it tight here. I'm not seeing like a massive volume, but considering what we were having back in here, it's kind of a little. That right there, though, is not positive for us. Treasuries are ticking back up. I should have done that one. Oh, they really came back up, in fact. Okay. Okay. Curious. Good. Good. Treasuries right back up. Harper's measure of risk on or off. I track it on a daily, weekly, monthly. Just one thing I track. Okay. So it's maybe something that I could look at like at the end of the day. Since I don't have data to be looking at it on like a 1 minute
Block
basis.
sell.
Okay. What the heck? A 3K sell order in the 10-year? A break there? Well, that's not good. That was like a really weird failure. Hmm. It wasn't quite an outside bar on the 1 minute chart, but it was close. Hmm. I don't know if sellers have the strength right now to push this. Show me the volume says. Sorry it's so quiet today. Guess I'm just really overly focused. How that last one? Oh yeah, the one that I had long from 31. That didn't turn out very well. Hmm. Just really still kind of slow. Well, that's a little better. Hmm. Treasuries are flickering a lot more now, aren't they? Hmm. So that was a trade that I wanted. It didn't quite play out the way I wanted. That's all. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Yeah, y'all make me chase it. Mm. Some big volume going through at 01 again. Cool. Yeah, but once again, it seems like they get up there and then somebody is like, no, hold up. Volume up looked strong. Mhm. Well, that's so. Mhm. I think I'm very much chasing here. Trying to flip in reverse did not work at all. We're still okay on the day, actually. Hmm. Oh, did it really? Okay. Ooh, maybe I should sell it. Maybe I should buy it. Oh, I don't know what I should do here. Treasury's trading a big amount at 31.5. I guess 4,000 is not like crazy or anything, but it seems like a lot to me. There's 11,000 at 11 and a quarter in the 5-year. What? Cool boy says buy now. No, buy when I have a signal to do so. All right. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I wish I had noticed that big order in the 5-year earlier. 11,000 sold into 11 and a quarter in the 5-year treasury. I thought that news that Japan is just going to buy like tons of bonds would have pushed the treasuries up really good, and I mean they did initially, but since that time it's been pretty gappy, I guess you could say. So maybe that particular piece of news is not as significant as I thought. Hmm. Hmm. E-mini kind of feels like it's just moving where it wants to. Time is it 9:21? I feel like so not very entertaining for you guys today. I kind of watching it and don't really have a whole lot to say about it. Sometimes it just moves and doesn't necessarily mean anything. We're kind of in a balanced area, so I guess that kind of action maybe makes sense. They really seem like consolidated here. And this is ahead of the London close, too. London close in like 8 minutes. Hmm. Hmm. Inside bar on the 1 minute chart. Some volume at 27. The treasury ticks up. Hmm. Hmm. Are our friends in Europe tired of it being in this area? Want to make a move up? Okay. Well, they extended the candle there. Um, so there's still kind of this area right here around 31. Okay. Cool boys has good luck. Wow. You know what? I think that being superstitious is bad luck. So I'm just gonna sit and do what I had planned on doing. So far, it looks like it's turning out pretty okay. Trading some big volume up there again in the 10-year. Yeah, man. The 10-year, the 10-year looked like it was going to make a move up, and they were up at 01, and they fell back down to 31.5. It looks like the action in the E-mini is affecting treasuries much more significantly than I would have thought. And again, I thought that news that when Japan was going to come in and like double the amount of corporate bonds and stuff that they're buying, I thought that it would affect us in yields, and but it hasn't. So don't know what to do, what to say. That one's kind of interesting. I think that there's probably a lot more about that. I think that we need to research that a bit more. Try and understand why the impact from that is not as big as we thought. Okay. pivot high on the 1 minute chart. Yeah. Hmm. Them sellers they're just not giving up. Like, you get stuff, it's not really going. They come all the way back. Wow. Really? Talk about a move. Okay, well, that pretty much puts us right at that one was a loss. But that was an interesting hour, wasn't it? It was very tight. But now that we're here, we can totally take it short if we wanted to. I don't know if here is a good spot necessarily. Well, maybe I'll do some more, but I'm not going to have to go because I got a work meeting. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.